The fight guy's back in shame this week. We only got one fight done. Fortunately, it was the main event, and it was in rather pretty good detail. I did look into it pretty good. Um, so this is like 12 UFCs in a week, and it just kind of avalanched on me. I'm hoping this 3 week break, I'm going to start looking in each fight in depth, like I used to, but with work, it's just been tough. Because I have a weird amount of integrity. I'm not just gonna like randomly write things for the 40 people that read it. Um, but what I wanted to talk about, the first thing I wanted to talk about is people have this argument of like the UFC, like it's watered down talent every week. Like, no, it's not. It's cool. Like if you're in Denmark like one week and now we're in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and like it's just cool. Like what do you just would you rather not be watching UFC on Saturday? I don't know. I don't know where those guys come from. All right, so let's talk about the main event. This card is not tremendously great for my interest, I guess, like a casual fan's interest. There's not many big names on the card. Veronica Macedo, I guess, got kicked out or she bailed on her fight. I liked her. I bet on her in New Jersey. That was fun. Um, yeah, it's just, I mean, you got Charles Oliveira. I saw in Rochester. Um, Big favorite. The co-main event is kind of cool with the guy who always paints his face, Paul Craig, and Shogun Rua, who is one of the famous Brazilian fighters. So not terrible. But all right, so let's get into the main event. So the main event is Jacare Souza versus Jan Blachowicz. There's a lot to talk about in this fight. Jacare is moving up. I guess that's the first thing where we'll start. Jacare is moving up from 185 pounds. He is going to 205, and it's not for weight cut reasons. He made weight fine at 185. He never missed. I think it's just he never had a chance at the title. So he's going to try 205. Blachowicz has actually fought, I think, Thiago Santos, who's done that same voyage from 185 to 205, and it worked out well for him. He fought Luke Rockhold famously, who's actually a very similar fighter to Jacare. I found that out. But this he absolutely will give up size to Jan. This is not Jacare going. This is 20 pounds. That's a big deal, and he will be the smaller man. He was a big 185er, but he will be the smaller man here. Now we can also talk about Jacare's mental health issues. After his last fight to what's his name, Jack Hermanson, he didn't want to fight anymore. You know, he's quoted as saying the only reason he went to the gym was to help his buddy out. It's Rodolfo Vieira, who's like a jiu-jitsu guy that he's friends with. He would cry on the way there, and he's got some mental health issues that hopefully he's on the right side of. I guess he said he's working with a counselor, and I don't know. I don't know. I hope it works out for him. But he's up to 205 now. So Jacare's biggest attribute is his jiu-jitsu. He's one of the jiu-jitsu legends. No one in the UFC, even Luke Rockhold's ego, will not. I think Jacare can check Luke Rockhold's ego. Was saying like Luke says he's the best on the ground, and Jacare is the best in the UFC on the ground. So what happens is every fighter who fights him, no matter how good you are in jiu-jitsu, you don't take Jacare down. You just don't have that idea to do that at 185. Jacare doesn't have a tremendous reach. I think Jan has an 8-inch reach, 6-inch reach. I think it's 78 inches for Jan, and it's 72 inches for Jacare. So Jacare doesn't have a tremendous reach. So a lot of these guys, no matter how good you are at jiu-jitsu, will try to keep their distance and hit and strike with Jacare. It is what it is. Now, jiu-jitsu is not wrestling. Crying Gracie showed us that the other day. And When Jacare first started, Jacare was crying Gracie. He could not strike. We saw, he had trouble taking people to the ground, and he could not strike with them. But my point is that over the years, Jacare has evolved, and he actually is not a poor striker. He has a lot of power in his right hand, and he throws a right kick. Predominantly those two things, and they're very powerful. He tends to command the center of the octagon, which I expect him to do in this fight. Command the center of the octagon as Jan kind of backs up around him, and because Jan is going to try to use his reach, because Jan has a tremendous jab. That left jab will be featured in this fight. But my point was, I got ahead of myself here. My point was, when people fight Jacare, they tend to stay on the outside and strike with him because he is a mutant on the ground. So about Jan, let me see. He's also 40 years. Yeah, Jacare is also 40 years old. That's not nothing. Like this, 39 years old, and he is fighting in his hometown, Brazil. And I'm not tremendously knowledgeable on how the athletic commissions work in Brazil with the judges. There has been some history with the judges kind of giving the Brazilians some favorable scorecards, but I haven't noticed that so much in Moscow and in the other areas. I'm not sure what the judges' situation is. I think Brazil, because one of the guys is clearly on steroids, and I just don't know how he fights in Brazil. I'm not sure about that. But anyways, there will be a hometown crowd for Jacare and a hometown fight. Jan's 6,500 miles away from his hometown. So that's not nothing. Now, I actually, so now let's talk about Jan a little bit. Jan has a tremendous jab. He has spoken about it very highly. He will use that jab in this fight. That will be featured. He likes to back up. I imagine Jacare will command the center of the octagon. Jan will kind of circle around him and pump that jab. So here's the issue. Jacare, I think, commands the center of the octagon in this fight, but Jan hits him more times. So if this fight goes to decision, I can see Jacare. Winning a decision, getting a hometown call. I could very much see that. Now, both these guys have cardio issues. Jacare has a cardio issue, and Jan's cardio is not his strength. Excuse me. So cardio issue, Jan's cardio is not his strength. So Jacare is moving up in weight, which could either help his cardio, maybe the weight cut was killing him, or maybe he's carrying 20 extra pounds and he's not used to it and he is going to gas out even harder. What I do like about Jacare is it seems like he does fight well when he's tired. I don't know if that sounds convoluted or not, but like I think Jacare does have power to the point where even if he's tired, he can stand his ground and then threaten that big right hand. So it allows him recovery because I do see him tired a lot, but I don't think he can recover because he does have a lot of power. But that's also at 185, so now he's moving at 205. Does Jan respect that power as much? I don't know. And plus, with the reach advantage, I don't think Jan's going to be able to give Jacare a break in this fight. He's going to pump that jab in his face. Jan looks good. Jan came over here. He's got the whole country of Poland on his back. MMA is evolving in Poland, and Jan's the guy, so he's prepared for this fight. I really think he's going to stick that jab in his face, and Jacare is going to be in trouble. Now, when I was researching this fight, I realized that Luke Rockhold is actually exactly the same, or not exactly the same, but like an exception, like very similar opponent to Jacare. And we saw what happened. Jacare is also going to look to take Jan down. I forgot to even talk about this. It's like one of the main things. So Jacare wants to take the fight to the ground. Jan is a black belt himself, a legitimate grappling wizard. But here's where it comes. Here's where it comes in. Jacare is a top guy. He doesn't like the bottom as much. He's a wizard on the bottom too. But the top is where he's comfortable. So does Jacare try and take? He will try, but like, will Jacare's? How does wrestling is a fatiguing style of fighting. So Jacare has a very um, limited gas tank, at least from what I've seen. From what I've seen in this fight, Jacare has a limited gas tank. So is Jacare going to engage in the grapple fest like the first round? The Luke Rockhold had the game plan. I'm going to take him to the ground because Luke Rockhold thinks he can just beat anyone, and like Jan's grappling pedigree did not phase Luke Rockhold one bit. That was his goal. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to make him tired. So my point is, well, Luke Rockhold failed at that, and then Jan hit him out of the clinch with a left hand that ended his night. So I'm wondering, the question I have for this fight is, how is Jacare planning on taking him down? Does Jacare plan on, screw it, let's just have a boxing match or a kickboxing match? Because I've watched enough MMA where I believe that the old adage, two high-level grapplers, there's bad kickboxing match. And I think that's what we're going to get here. Maybe you'll see Jacare try to take him down. But my point is, Jacare will not be able to take Jan down because Jan is a high-level grappler. Luke Rockhold couldn't do it. And I really don't see the incentive for Jacare to take him down given his cardio issues. Now, remember, his cardio issues could be worse at 205 compared to 185. That very, very likely could be worse. So I think we're getting ourselves a kickboxing match, and I think the key to this fight is Jan's jab. Jan has a 6-inch reach advantage, and he's a little bit taller. That's a significant functional reach advantage heading into a fight. And I think the key to this fight is Jan just pumping that jab, pumping that jab, pumping that jab, and keep hitting Jacare. You're going to see Jacare's nose break, start to bleed in this fight from that jab. Anything else I wanted to talk about? Jacare is a guy you kind of root for. He kind of got screwed out of a title. Like, I don't know what happened with that 185-pound title after Luke Rockhold won it. Like, Jacare should have got a title shot. I actually thought he won the Yoel Romero fight. Like, Jacare is a guy you root for. But unfortunately, I think that jab is going to be too much for him, and that jab is going to lead. What follows if you land a jab successfully, what follows? That right hand. And unfortunately, I think this fight is going to end for Jacare in Brazil, and probably his career in Brazil, being knocked out in the third round. That jab is going to be too much for Jacare. I don't see Jacare being able to take Jan down. Jan has a size advantage. Jan is not a small 205er. Jan will have a size advantage. Jacare poses some threats on the feet. His striking is very powerful. But I think that jab is going to be too much, and he's going to knock him out in Brazil to end his career. I saw my man Max Griffin posted something that said the fight game. What is it? The fight game doesn't love you. What is it? Yeah, the fight game is cold and don't love nobody. It's unfortunate. I think that is going to happen to Jacare. He's going to get knocked out in his hometown. Maybe not his hometown, but his home country. And I don't think his wife's going to let him fight anymore. I think that's it for him. So, anything else I really wanted to talk about? Oh, I guess talk about betting. Now, the fight card is in Brazil. A lot of people, I have a feeling, are going to take it's at like plus 170 and minus 180 or something. Keep an eye on the odds. They're going to move. People are going to take Jacare as the fight gets closer, and the odds are going to reflect that. So if Jan gets around down to minus 150, minus 140, I think that's a good bet. The knockout prop is like plus 100. That's nothing you want to lose your money on. But I think if Jan gets down to minus 150, I think that's a pretty good bet to be had. All right. We have 3 weeks. I'm gonna start planning this into my schedule. Just get these. Get. I'm gonna. I'm gonna start putting these blogs out regularly, and these videos are going to be detailed. Like I'm very knowledgeable about this fight. It's gonna be for all of them because I'm gonna create a schedule where I am on top of it. It's a little avalanche on me, but the fight guy will be back.